I knew I was gonna get teary-eyed in this episode. Gosh darn it. Okay. Well, friends, we are entering this series finale of Violet Evergarden. Not season series because there's only an OVA and a couple of movies. They're not doing anything else, but definitely watching this has been really enjoyable and I've really liked it. And hopefully my brother is getting a chance to go to Japan via the military, so hopefully maybe he can find some Violet Evergarden stuff for me. Or maybe not. I just want him to have a good time. He doesn't have to find stuff for me, but this series is amazing. I'm so glad I watched it. I'm so glad I was like, no, I said I would watch it. I'm not going to watch Laid Back Camp. I'm going to watch this instead. Now, in terms of other shows, because apparently My Hero Academia comes back on the last Saturday in March, so I'm just like, there's so much going on right now. Because after Violet Evergarden, we're doing A Place Farther Than the Universe. Now, and doing A Place Farther Than the Universe, about halfway through that, then we're going to start Laid Back Camp. But we also have My Hero Academia. Do I wait for My Hero Academia? Do I dive right in? Also, I'm catching up on Retro React. And who knows if I'll ever get to Lois and Superman and Lois, which I've just heard nothing but great things about. So that's great. There's a lot going on. For sure. A lot happening. And it's all converging right now. Other than that, happy St. Patrick's Day. I mean, this will be Thursday the day after, but today is St. Patrick's Day. So, anyway, there's nothing else for me to say. If you're watching on YouTube, it's follow along, no sound, partial image, keeps the copyright monsters at bay, at least for most of my stuff. And also, these are the only videos I have monetized, so thank you for watching if you happen to watch a music video reaction or something else, because those videos, I can't monetize because of copyright claims. So, the more anime reactions you watch on my channel, the more pocket change I get. Just to be a little greedy right now. But if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can. There's a, excuse me. There's a countdown timer. You can't miss it. Let's dive right in. Oh, we actually see damage to her hands. Ooh! And we're hearing... Oh, he's damaging her arms. Oh! Oh, she lost an arm! Oh, he knew about that. She's a fierce little thing, isn't she? Oh, no intro. This is going to be an intense episode. Oh, yes, it's mechanical. It's still moving. I love the detail that they play to the guns, because those guns are so typical of like the World War I-II era. Those little funky shaped ones. I forget what those are called. I really enjoy their design. What did they do? Oh. He grabbed it for her. That was nice of him. I guess he was trying to, what, commit suicide? And she was like, no, you're not. It's hard not to like her and love her. But now we're in danger. Oh, oh shoot. Oh, he was trying to escape the bomb. Oh, on the rails. That's hard to get to. Ooh, that man's completely mad. They cut it. Okay, that still works, but that's a little harder. Dude, you and your freaking heels. Oh, well, he's dead. Oh, she's trying to get to the bombs. Good girl. That thing's big. Oh, she's trying to use her metal hands to rip it off. Dude's running in heels, man. Oh, it kicked it off. Man, that man. I guess a man. Someday, I too wish to be able to walk in heels as good as that man just ran in those. I love how he used his full weight and kicked it off. Is there other bombs, though? Gosh darn it, this is intense. Oh, she broke her hand. Ah, oh, jeez. Her other one, because it's damaged. Nope, falling apart. Gosh, the resolve in this little girl. She's snapping her arms off, man. She's snapping her arms off again. She's gonna lose her balance. She's gonna fall. Bomb came off, but she could fall too. Dude, grab her. Oh my gosh, those bombs were intense. But I love... Oh my gosh, he's amazing! And the sun's coming up. My goodness. But I love... Okay, I want to go back to those bombs. Oh, the sun's coming up. I just love how we got two different... I feel like they were just flexing there. Like, two different explosions there. One was an underwater explosion, and one was an in-the-air explosion. Like, that's flexing again. Like... Okay, focus. Oh, he gave her his coat. Well, I doubt he will ever roll his heels again. And she's writing the letter that will be sent out to all the people. Now it is. Oh, I was wondering why his little nose was red. It's winter. Of course his nose would be red. It's cold. Oh, is this early days, Violet? It is. Oh no, this is post her. Post this event. I think. Oh, she's back to her kind of old outfit. Kind of back to more of a simple one. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna cry, aren't I? Because I know who she's gonna write to. She tried to, it didn't quite work. But it was still, even when she tried it was more of like a report than a letter. Not really a fan of following one's heart, but it is good for her to use her emotions to help her figure out how to write this letter. Ooh, flashback. Oh, the violin music! Come on, man! But now we see it's no longer like that. It's taken her a long time to figure that out. And he, oh gosh, interesting how both of them get frustrated around the same thing in different ways, the brothers. She doesn't know. She doesn't quite understand feelings yet. Oh, we see that throughout the series. An interesting play of light and dark here again. Well, she kind of already was a tool before. I mean, she kind of was already treated like one before this. Ooh, did you hear his voice? My gosh, the voice acting. Ugh. I don't think I've shown enough appreciation for the voice acting. I think I've been so ingrained in the look of the show and the directing of it that I haven't really been paying attention to. But that was some just the way his voice squeaked. Interesting how she's gone back to her more dowdy look. So now she's wearing a sweater. Now she understands him better. I love how he still has the other two toys. It's so cute. Not quite part of the Bougainville village. Not Gilbert. We know it's not Gilbert. Probably sounds a lot like... No, it doesn't, because she knew immediately that wasn't him. Again, she's in such a very... Her memory's a little fuzzy. Oh! Gilbert has her eyes! Oh. Though what's interesting here is that in that moment, the brooch looks more like his eyes than Gilbert's. Ooh, lips. I did not mean to use my middle fingers. I was just trying to point to my mouth. Oh, her hands, she's shaking. Gosh, well, it was professional. He took care of her. She's shaking. Oh, her memory came back there a little bit. I like her little kind of cute little, you know, crop top sweater. It's very cute. Oh. Oh, there's quite a big age gap between them, actually. Okay. More metaphorical in life, but okay. Oh. I knew I was gonna be crying before the end. I figured if last episode wasn't super emotional, this one would be. It's funny seeing her try to be so controlled there. But at the same time, it's, her emotions are just pouring out of her, including her tears. And he's still upset and bitter. Ooh. I was gonna say, wow, that's so sweet. He's like forgiving her, and then he ended it like that, and then die. Okay, maybe he's forgiven her a little bit. Gosh darn it. Ooh, look at the fluffy snow. But yeah, just, well, okay, we'll loop back around to the end of the episode. I still want to talk about the explosions and the effects there. But, this is cool. I was like, why does she have one glove and one not? But one did get destroyed. But she didn't get new gloves? Or is this her kind of... I don't know. There's something to interpret out of there, but I can't quite get it. Oh, look at them with layers. Oh no, there she is. She's back in her full outfit. Oh, look, yeah. Oh, is that like a banana treat in the back? But oh, they're all so proud of her and how much she's grown. Alright, a little bit of comedy to balance it out. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Pop. Oh, so is he going to be a soon to be dead? Ooh. Oh. So does he have someone and will have a daughter someday, or does he not have? Well, whatever. I was wondering if that's what they were gonna do, if they were gonna release the letters like that in a big ceremony. Man, the cleanup on that's gonna be a mess. What do you do with them after that? Of course, Erica would like him. I mean, how could you not? I was about to say, I was like, is it? Yeah. Oh. Ah. Ch. Oh my god. So where is she off to? So I want to say all this has been happening within the first year of her being a doll. Because she traveled a lot really fast. Oh, she went up on top of the tower, like where Laculia showed her. Iris is back, the royal family, the observatory, oh, the author. Oh, little house. Ooh, yeah, by now the mom would have passed away. Okay, so she's going home. I gotta focus, man. I missed everything that was going on. Oh, violets. It's letting amongst a bunch of violets. Gosh darn it. Her little lip trip on her little mouth. Oh, darn it. Dang it. Interesting, a little bit of like, it almost looked like fire in the middle of those tears. It is, a little bit of fire in the middle of those tears, and then and she's falling amongst violets. And the fire kind of disappeared there a little bit. I mean, it's beautifully poetic, but you're just flexing there. Look at this lens flare, the camera work. This is a reminder she does live there. Benedict! Benedict! I can't remember his name. But of course, Erica. She didn't actually finish the letter. The auto memory doll. Dang, nabbit. And I love you. Oh. Alright. It keeps not ending. Okay. 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 Alright. Beautiful. Beautiful episode. I mean, at the end, everything that we kind of saw that was poetic, where the flowers and the letters and the tears and all of that had a purpose. But at the same time, cute Annie was just like, and watch this. I mean, the way they played, I love about also the physics of it, and I mentioned this in a previous reaction, is that not only do the physics of all the objects still work within our world, but it's also slightly hyper-realized, maybe? It might not be. To the point where we might be able to argue, well, it doesn't quite work like that, but at the same time, because of how the, you know, the laws and the rules of the world, of this world work, it works. And my gosh, the growth of Violet over the course of this whole season, which I'm going to say, it's gotta be a year. She does many seasons, and maybe even more than one, but I still want to say it's been a year. If any of you knows, like, for accurately, like, how much time has passed, but still, I want to say it's been a year. And the fact that she's dealt with different climates has to do more so where she's going, not necessarily the time of year that she's in. Because we know that Iris is very far south, where it's super warm, but then she's also traveled super far north, where it seems where there's a lot of mountains and very cold, which is true in real life. I mean, we see that even within some of these big states within my own country, is that you can be down in the valley area, which is still very high above sea level, and it'd be super warm, and then you can go up a little bit higher, it'd be in the middle of the freaking summer, and yet there's snow on the mountains. So, again, elevation, you know, closer up north it is to south, so it kind of blurs time a little bit. But I want to say it's been about a year, for sure. I think it makes sense because this anime is so good at doing full circle. But, I mean, the way the tears fall, you see a little bit of fire in them, but then you see the fire go out as it hits the Violet, and kind of almost sort of that, all these tears and all these emotions she's going through sort of has kind of watered, so to speak, and allowed the flower to breathe and to grow. Because in a lot of ways, she has been nurtured by people around her, in surprising ways that has kind of forced her to kind of grow a little bit, which has been super fun to just watch. But I want to talk about the hero of this episode, Gilbert, in heels, and not even like fat ones like Bud wears, like thin ones. Like, that man, he booked it. Like, it's so funny how earlier in the season, we got him, like a few episodes ago, he rolled his ankle walking down some cobblestones, and yet we see him sprint across the freaking, like, railroad tracks, jump down, accurately kick off the box, which now makes me want to know, what the heck did Gilbert used to do before all this? Then land on the bridge, but also be able to grab Violet and hold on to her, all in heels. Okay? If Gilbert can do it, other people can do it too. Come on. I just love that so much. No, it's like, well, you know what? Anytime you see women kicking butt in heels, go for it. I mean, obviously we have the physics of the cartoon world versus the real world, but still, I'm just like, I love it. It's kind of funny and kick butt and kind of turns some things on its head a little bit. I just cracked me up. But the bravery and just the moment of Gilbert's like, I'm on it. Boom, takes it out. Violet pulling at the thing and kind of her arms sort of coming apart. There's a lot of, I think, metaphors to pull out of there, and just the desperation she has. And Gilbert being able to still move and reach her and grab her and pull her back was amazing. I mean, the entire action sequence on the train over the course of these 2 episodes was the most fun I've ever had watching a train sequence. I've got some really cool fun ones. As goofy as the movie is, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, the train sequence is actually pretty cool. There's some moments where it's like, what? Because it's like stretches reality, but it's also kind of, it's a movie where there's a lot of stretched reality moments in it, where you're just like, seriously? Though there is one scene that's not the train scene, it has to do with horses, that everyone was like, okay, this is stupid. Now you've gone too far, but whatever. But the whole scene and the emotional issues and everything that was going on was really cool. And I love the moment where, I mean, her being able to like the way she grabbed the thing, and I'm just like, oh, it's so cool. And yes, her arms are super strong, but we also know that they were weakened from getting, like, blocking things. And it's just like, and also it was just, her arms are meant for small, minute things, not for her pulling on iron stuff. But it's cool that we see, like, the fact that she has these, like, prosthetic arms, like, come full circle, and another way with her being able to take the bomb off. But I love the timing of the bombs. And the fact that Quixote was like, okay, now we're going to give you 2 explosions at the same time. One's going to be underwater, one's going to be in the air with the last strap. Like, just like, and go. At the exact same time. I'm just like, I don't think I've ever remembered a live action movie doing that, having 2 different kinds of explosions at the same time. And seeing how, I love the little, the whole physics of it, of the way the explosion kind of warps the water and pushes it up out like that. But also the way the explosion in the air was like, there was that brief moment of fire and just a lot of just smoke. And just like, I was like, 2 explosions, very big, at the exact same time, very different. And I love how the physics of it, where with the one in the air, you can't really quite see Violet. You're like, oh my gosh, did Violet get hurt? What happened? But you see her moving, and then Gilbert grabs her. So it's also used as a way to create dramatic effect. And also another kind of dramatic effect with the water, one that fell in the water, is that, also I think if the guy wasn't dead who, like, after he hit the water, because he fell really far, if he didn't break his neck, he's definitely dead by now. I mean, my gosh, the bombs went off. There's no way he survived that. But what's really cool about that is that the way the explosion, that you see, like, the water explosion, that you see the droplets in the air. Because you see them on Dietar a little bit. And it's timed perfectly with the sun coming up over the mountains. And it's just like, It was action-packed. There was emotional resonance within the action-packed. And it was just so good. The only thing I would say is like, okay, no. That I would pick at is how far away the Brigadier General was and Violet were. I'm just like, I have to admit, they probably wouldn't be talking that quietly. They would be yelling. And they were also standing a little too tall. Now, I know they're standing on a steam engine train, and they don't go as fast as, like, other kinds of trains, but they still go pretty freaking fast. And, it wasn't, like, trotting along slowly, so I'm like, okay, that was a little bit of, like, but that's because I'm nitpicking. But that's great. You want a show that's so good that you're forced to nitpick and not say, look, here's this giant hole here that we can't miss. No, I have to nitpick because that's how good this show is. But I want also to talk about how, I've been so focused on the look of the show and the animation, I really haven't been paying attention to the voice acting. And the voice acting has been super impeccable and incredible. But the voice actor for Gilbert right there, the way his voice squeaked, the way he was sad, like, the way he was able to make his voice, and he probably was crying in real life, you could hear his voice straining and tightening, because when you get upset, your larynx tightens. Which is why when you're singing an emotional song, you don't actually want to feel those emotions, because it screws with your vocal cords. But you can hear his vocal cords tighten, and you're just like, I felt that. Okay? I don't even have to watch it to hear it and feel it. So, and the directing is great, and there's just so much at play here that is just, as a whole, a well-rounded series. Now, it starts slow, And it feels a little disjointed at times. But I think I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but part of it I like looking at is that because Violet is so disconnected in a lot of ways, and disjointed in a lot of ways, that a lot of the episodes were, because we are forced to see them mainly from these other characters' point of views, and we're popping around different people, and so that's why it kind of pulls us out and pushes us out, in and out a little bit, because we have to see them from somebody else's point of view, because Violet doesn't quite have her own point of view, kind of quite yet. Not that she doesn't have it, but she doesn't understand her own point of view, which is a very weird thing to say, but hopefully you're following along. But what's great is that as the series progressed, we finally get to see things from Violet's perspective. And that's really was that moment where she had that breakdown in the train. Or the ship. And that was the moment where, whew, we've kind of hit her emotional climax, her peak of, like, everything now is hitting her. And everything that she's been hearing and learning from people and experiencing has just kind of come full circle. I mean, yeah, full circle. Let's go, or half circle. Let's go half circle there. But I like how we've come from a moment where you just can't get anything from her. And you can't feel anything, you can't see, like, anything. And the only time we ever get emotions from her is when she's surprised by her own emotions, which usually for the beginning was surprise. But slowly but surely, as she's learned to feel more and understand her, even before she's understood her feelings, is that, again, they keep hitting her by surprise. But after she had that first emotional break, as if a dam exploded, and it was just like, it was just boom. After that, it just became, it was harder and harder for her to hide her feelings. Now, we saw with the young girl, she held everything in. And I think it's sometimes a little easier when you're trying to do it on behalf of somebody, holding your feelings in. But as the episodes progressed, it was harder and harder to hold back her feelings. And she's trying, with Gilbert's and Deetart's mother, she was trying so hard to hold everything back, because she's, like, still and she's stiff and she's kind of small into herself. And I kind of love the fact that actually for that part of the episode, we didn't see her in her full doll costume, which maybe I guess she didn't have because it was getting repaired. But I also like the fact that she's only wearing one glove instead of two. It's kind of fun as a way of kind of her accepting her thing that she's gone through, especially the loss of her arms. Which I don't know if it was something that she needed to accept, but I think in a very interesting way, the breaking of her old arms and having the new ones and having that one exposed maybe showed us something that I don't think we were paying attention to. Because she is so good at hiding her feelings, and again, because she has her emotions always kind of click through her hands first, which again is a very cool thing to do, because they are prosthetics, and they're very fancy ones. The fact that she has that glove out, she doesn't have that glove, is kind of showing that she's a bit more at ease with her emotions. But, kind of go back to the emotion thing, we see her kind of like trying to hold it all in, but she can't. It's not possible. She is shaking, her face, her whole body is shaking and quivering. She's crying. She can't, like, she's trying to hold it back, but she can't help it. Now, she's not full-blown sobbing, but instead of it coming out in these big, big waves, it's kind of a steady stream, which also we see in the tears. And I guess in some ways, Deethart might have forgiven Violet. I don't know, when he said live a long life and then die, it kind of does show that he still has some bitterness, resentment towards her. But he's kind of made a step in the right direction. And I always love those, and I just love the moment with the mom. And the fact that Gilbert has her eyes, which we saw with Violet. I love that a lot. And there's a lot of interesting moments here. Where I have a client and it's urgent and just some other stuff, but there's so much to say. This anime is very good, and now I understand why people love it so much. But so I don't drone on too long because we're getting close to the 15-minute mark. I want to talk about that last moment there because I was like, oh my gosh, I think it's a lot of endings. Like, when is it ending? I like how, first of all, we use the moment of her Violet being in the tower, which goes back to Luculia, and I'm thinking about all the places she's gone, and just that fun stuff. But what's great is that we see her intro at the end. And every time she does her little intro, it's very robotic. And, yeah. And then she does her thing, and she looks up, and it's playing. But that moment where she first She says hello, but she doesn't quite make eye contact. When she actually does her little bow and she looks up, you see emotion in her face. Where for the first time, maybe in a new way, she's actually connecting with a person. And I guess in this case, she's connecting with the audience. Because she's looking straight at us. She's not really breaking the fourth wall, but she is connecting with us in a way. And we're connecting with Violet in a new way. Because Violet's now connected to herself and her emotions in a new way. But I love that moment, that slight difference of her, oh, hello, kind of moment was really cute. And it was just, it was a slight change. So again, I just love how it was so episodic. We got to see a lot of Violet from other people's perspective. The one great consistency of the show was Violet's growth, which I think if you are doing an episodic show, whether it's a crime show or whether it's something like The Orville or others, yes, you can. It's fun to have different non-connecting moments, but the one thing that has to be consistent is the growth of the character or the emotions of the character. And I critique this a lot and kind of criticize the lack of that in the Wonder Woman TV series that I'm watching right now for Retro React, because it's very fun and episodic. But there's also not only some weak writing moments, but also, except for in season 1, we really haven't gotten to really connect emotionally and enjoy kind of the growth or the ebbs and flows of Diana specifically. Everything's been sort of not like that. And you need to have some depth and some lightheartedness kind of at the same time. The show definitely had it. Very fun balance of, like, you know, it is a very serious show, but it has some nice light moments that kind of, it's true to life. It's very cute. And the whole thing with, like, Claudia is, like, does he have a kid? Is she, like, just unborn? Or is she, you know, he's gonna marry someone someday. He wants his, his future daughter. It's very cute. Also, I mean, also the fact that Benedict was able to hold Claudia back, though I don't think Claudia was being too serious about pulling away from him while being smaller than him and in heels, again, makes me wonder what is Benedict's background. But that's something we can play around another time. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a very fun ride for me. I've got schoolwork to get on right now. A lot of work to do tonight and tomorrow for me. So I gotta work on that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for those of you who recommended it. And just, it's been a good time. Like, comment, subscribe this video for sure. Share with it, comment. It does help the algorithm, for sure. Thanks. But like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. If for some reason you didn't like this reaction, share with your enemies, make them miserable as well. And I'll see you guys next time.